topic for today for me is growth hacking for startups. How can startups acquire 100K users? I would love to know that how many people here have their own startups? Oh, quite a few. Um, yeah, I acknowledge your raise of hand. So, so just a little bit of introduction of me. So there are two types of influencers. One, those who are famous among masses, and the second, that are famous among the classes. So I categorize myself in the later category, that my audience essentially are people who have businesses, startups, enterprises, and but I also cater to people who are influencers of some kind. Example, a lot of you in YouTubers are essentially micro mega influencers. So this may also help you. The first 2 points that we will share is more relevant to startups, and the last one would be more about you. So I'm an international best-selling author of the book, The Growth Hacking Book. It is endorsed by Mr. Amitabh Kant, who is the CEO and director of Niti Aayog. I'm also thank you so much. So my book, The Growth Hacking Book, is co-authored by 35 experts from 9 different countries. And we together founded this International Growth Hacking Day last year on July 13th. Me and my SaaS products have helped notable organizations like UNESCO, Uber, Candid by Kalyan Jewellers, Red Bull, Freshworks, and also political organizations like BJP and more. Just because I mentioned BJP doesn't mean that I subscribe to their ideology, just that they were clients. I've also been featured on huge media publications like Forbes, Huffington Post, The Next Web, Goodman Project, Business World, Your Story, etc. So this was a little bit of introduction of me, just so you know that where I'm coming from. What I essentially do is I help startups get their first 100, 1,000, 10,000 or 1 lakh users. So you may so startups who are looking to get customers and users, or people or influencers looking to get their first 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh followers might find this interesting. So let's understand what is growth hacking. How many here have heard about the term growth hacking? Okay, and how many feel confident that it truly understand what growth hacking is? Okay, 1, 2. Do we have mics floating or not? If not, it's okay, but if it is, it will be good. This gentleman could tell us what he understands what growth hacking is.
Growth hacking is just the doing any work in the shortest time, but there is no unfair means of doing the same thing.
Oh, I love that. Hardik, that guy in the blue. Hardik, what do you think growth hacking is according to you?
Thank you, first of all, Rohan. So I believe growth hacking is not a magic wand. It's probably what people think of something as hacking, where you have to hack certain things.
Yeah.
It's not about hacking. It's more about applying some skill set, some mindset to apply certain strategies in a short span of time. But it doesn't mean you're cheating or you're making some frauds.
I like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's understand first what growth hacking is not. So whenever I'm speaking to startups, they would tell me something like, suggest us some growth hacks so that we can boost our revenues, boost our sales. But that is not how it's done. People think that growth hacking is something, a silver bullet or a quick fix or a quick hack that you can apply and everything will fall into place. It's more of a rapid experimentation. We are lean and mean, and we are finding the best way possible, the quickest way possible in the most optimized way. How I define growth hacking is that you are conducting growth experiments to identify marketing strategies to acquire and retain users using data. So traditionally, digital marketers do a lot of marketing, but it is more driven by instincts. Growth hackers are more driven by the data. And growth hackers are obsessed with one thing. So let's say if you are a YouTuber, you would be obsessed with one metric that matters to you the most. It could be your watch time, your subscribers. For a startup, it could be more of driven by sales. But North Star metric may not essentially be what brings value to you, but essentially something that brings value to your customers. For example, if YouTube had to define their North Star metric, it would not be how many people are signing up to the platform. It would be what's the watch time. And that's why to monetize your YouTube channel, they are looking for 1000 subscribers, which is fairly achievable. But what YouTubers struggle with is getting that 4000 hours of watch time, because watch time is the North Star metric for YouTube as a platform. The reason is that it favors both the users as well as YouTube as a company, as a corporation. If more people are consuming content on YouTube, it is bringing value to the users. At the same time, it is bringing value to the company as they're making more revenues the more you watch. So North Star metric is nothing but, instead of chasing 1000 different metrics, so let's say as an influencer or as a startup, instead of chasing my sales, my revenues, number of users signing up, my website traffic, I would just go with one metric that matters. In the YouTube's case, it is watch time. And also growth hacking is, if I have to put it in the simplest way in one sentence, it would be finding the less exploited ways to grow your North Star metric. So let's say, how many are marketers here? Okay, quite a few. So in marketing, if let's say you were doing email marketing, you were running email marketing campaigns in the year 2010 or 11, your open rates and click rates would be far more than if you were doing it right now in this 2020. Now that email marketing has started to become saturated, we are moving to platforms like WhatsApp marketing, Facebook Messenger marketing, and now even text messaging and marketing. So growth hacking is all about finding the less exploited growth strategies so that you can have the first mover's advantage. For example, like I said, doing email marketing versus doing videos right now. So if you want more reach, you may want to do more videos on YouTube, more videos on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, on any platform you are. As the saying goes on, there's this badge that I'm wearing. I don't know if you can see it. It says play button is the most compelling CTA. If you really want your audience to take actions, the best way is to get on a video and convey your message. Growth hackers operate at the intersection of marketing, product, and technology. By marketing, I mean that it could be inbound or outbound marketing. By product, it is the growth hacks that you implement at the product level. So let's say, for example, for a platform like WhatsApp, if you are on WhatsApp and your friend is not, WhatsApp shows you an invite button to invite your friend to WhatsApp. So that's a growth hack that they have applied on the product level. The third one is technology. So sometimes the growth hackers may also want to build custom tools to increase their users or customers or whatever it be. Taking an example of my recent case study, there was this client I had from Hong Kong. They were launching an app in India and they wanted to get their first 100K users. We got them 1,20,000 users in about 3.5 months, and they were looking for essentially women in India. So what we did is we built a custom tool that collected the email addresses and phone numbers of female Instagram accounts that were publicly available, so that there's nothing that you're doing wrong, and then you market to them by running custom ads on this set of audience. So this is I explained why I do what I do. So essentially, I am on a mission to empower professionals to work on their growth set. I define growth set as skill set plus mindset plus tool set. Skill set is the skills that you need to become a growth hacker. Mindset is what mindset you need to adopt to become a growth hacker. And then tool set is the tools and strategies you need to become a growth hacker. So there is one question that I've frequently get asked is, we just launched a startup, how do we growth hack? But it is very important to note that The prerequisite for growth hacking is to find the product market fit. How you find the product market fit is you determine if you have a nice to have product or a must have product. To give you an example of that, so let's say this is a wonderful event conducted by ThinkVID, and if I have to know that if they have a product market fit or not, let's do this test. So how many people, by show of hands, how many people here think ThinkVID is a nice to have? That means it is an event that you may go and you may learn from. And versus how many think that it is a must-have event in a city like Jaipur, where they may not have access to good talent, but then these people flying from across India is coming here to teach you. So by show of hands, how many people think that ThinkVID is a must-have event in a city like Jaipur? Okay. And how many people think that it is a nice to have, that you can have it, you may not have it? Okay. So for more than 40% of the room says that ThinkVID is a must-have even for a city like Jaipur. That means ThinkVID has already found its product market fit. Now they are ready to move towards growth hacking. So if you are a startup, you have to survey, let's say you have 100 customers, you survey 100 customers and ask them if you think that our product is nice to have or a must-have. If they say it is a must-have, that means that they cannot live without your product. So once your 40% of the customers say that it is a must-have product, that means you're ready for growth hacking. So here I'm going to share with you 3 growth hacks that you can implement immediately for your startups. Of course, for each startup, the target audience would be different, the industry would be different, and I can only give you specific advice if I know what you're doing. So the 3 things that we are going to discuss are generic, but then it applies to everyone. The first one is hire celebrity employees. So with a lot of startup founders, I've noticed that they try to hire a lot of interns, employees that are entry level, and then they end up not having or attracting good talent. My suggestion is try to have everyone in your team make them an all-star player. Only hire people who are very extremely good at what they do. Yes, you may be able. They may ask for a higher paycheck, but then it would pay off. So let's say, for example, you are a team of 10 or 50, and each of your employee is an social media influencer or influencer in your own industry, whether it be B2B or B2C. So imagine what would happen if each and every customer employee that you have has a immense social status, and then they go on market your product to their set of audiences that have already won their trust. So the reason I say to hire celebrity employees is that they already have a set of audience that you need, and you are just leveraging their audiences. The immediate way to implement is that instead of having HR department in your companies, you may have to have talent managers. So let's say this room is full of YouTubers, and a product is about creating intro videos for your YouTube channel. So you can immediately hire these talented YouTubers as an employee, because they already have a set of audience. They may know YouTube marketing, and YouTube could become the primary driver for your business. So imagine having 10 employees who are already well-established YouTubers, and these people go all out to promote your product. And then the kind of user base that you would establish by having these 10 big influencers promoting you would be far more than having these 10 interns or entry-level employees working for you. So that's growth hack number 1. The second is build hype even before you launch. So let's say if you are launching a product 6 months or 1 year from now, you may want to start building the hype right from the beginning, even when the product is not launched. So let's say, for example, any Apple launch you pick is massively hyped. So even the Apple launches get overbooked even before that. The Apple phones, the products get overbooked even before they are launched. The reason is they are creating so much hype that it is oversold even before it comes to the market. So if you're launching a startup, make sure you start building your audience 1 year or 6 months or 2 years in advance. The last growth hack that we have for today is 4-step framework to
grow on any social media platform. We are living in an age where social media is the primary driver for every single conversation that we have right now. And this does not only applies to the startups that are present here, but also for individual YouTubers and influencers. I've tried and tested this process with about more than 1,200 influencers. We were running an agency that manufactured influencer statuses of people who wanted to become influencers or celebrities in the industry. And this is the 4-step framework we used to take them through all the time. So a person would start from the bottom tier of the pyramid, that is, they become a nano influencer, then they become a micro influencer, then macro, and then mega. How we make that possible is through a 4-step framework that I show you. So let's say you want me to switch. Quickly take photos. This is the 4-step framework that we use for every single influencer or wannabe influencer that comes to us. Even applies to the celebrities who do not have digital presence. So this applies for startup as well as influencers. The first step is identifying the platform. So what is the most popular platform you all have been on? How many people are on YouTube? Okay. How many people on Instagram? Okay. So on Instagram, the majority of us are. So let's take example of Instagram. The step 1 is identify the platform. So the platform that we have identified here is Instagram. The second step is identify key actions. Now, what are key actions? Key actions are actions that lead to awareness or discovery of your profile. So, for example, if I'm on Instagram, you're on Instagram, I go and like your picture, I follow you, I comment on your picture, I send you a direct message, you receive a notification from me. So it may show you, like, let's say if I like your picture, you would say, Rohan saw me like your photo, or I send you a message or comment. So you need to perform actions that leads to the awareness of your profile. And then you do these actions on scale. That's what the step number 3 says. The step number 3 says, either automate these process of performing action or or outsource it to someone or do it yourself. So let's say, for example, you're a busy employee, busy influencer, busy YouTuber, and you cannot sit on Instagram the entire day engaging with your target audience. So what you would do, you would either hire an intern, either hire an employee, or put this on automation using the APIs that we have, or try doing it yourself. So let's say, for example, if I engage with 100 people in my target audience every single day, out of 100, at least 20 to 30 people would, follow me back, engage with me, check my profile, and see what I'm doing. And if I have a valuable offer, they might come back to me asking me questions. So let's say, for example, as a growth hacker, when I engage with other people, influencers and startups profiles, they may come across my profile and see that I'm a growth hacker and I do these things, and they may end up, sending a message and asking me a question that can potentially be a lead or a client for me. So the last step would be analyze and repeat these same processes. So let's say, for example, you liked a set of pictures, you followed people, you commented, you messaged, and out of these, all the actions, follow work the best. So you following your target audience got you the most number of followers. So this is for people who are just starting out. So I'm not recommending this for people who already have 1 million followers. This is for people who want their first 100,000, 10,000 people to be on their profile. And then you see which actions bring you the most results, and then you double down on that. If you have any questions related to this may sound a bit technical and confusing, but if you have any questions related to this, I'm offline. Okay. Do you have any questions? I'll just take one because they are saying the time is out.
Just one question, like on Twitter or Instagram. On Twitter or Instagram, if we are following, say suppose 1,000 customers or 1,000 clients we are following on Twitter, and they are following back. So is this the good strategy to follow more numbers, or later we can unfollow?
No, do not do that. So what I would do is, so let's say if I'm nobody, like absolutely starting from scratch, what I would do is to gain your first 100,000, 10,000 people. There's no shame in engaging back with your audience. So let's say I'm a company that creates intro videos for YouTubers. I would go and engage with YouTubers. There's no shame in engaging with people, right? And it's a very wrong notion that we have collectively learned is that influencers do not engage with other people. Only your followers have to engage. Let's say for Twitter it is 400. For Instagram I would not do more than 100. So just be in your target niche and keep engaged. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you. Also, I know an event like this is very hard to pull off. So, Mandeep and I do not know the other person's name, but I so appreciate all the volunteers, the speakers, and of course the attendees. Today was a weekend, plus we have this corona pandemic going on, but you still come here shows that we are not driven by fear, but we are driven by love and service to the community. Thank you so much.